Yeah. Everybody knows that I'm breaking down. Everybody knows I ain't faking now. Everybody knows my heart's vacant now. Yeah, she hates me now, I made mistakes but now I don't ever wanna be alone. I don't really ever feel at home. On my own, in the zone, that's the only way I know. Feeling low, about to blow back up. Here I won't ever let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you in. Easier to break it off as friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold. Break down, always feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way. Even when I'm feeling down, I fight. Even when I don't know what is right, I'ma pick a side and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shake me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside, I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to another Sunday night showdown with the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Tonight, the Truck Series is heading to New Weston, Ohio to take on the only dirt track on the NEXXTCAR schedule, Eldora Raceway. Last week at Michigan, we saw tempers reach their peaks of all season long. And you know what's even better to follow that up? Short track racing. We also saw Nick get his first win of Season 7 last week and add his name to the short list of different winners this season. Bristol left the tempers high and the sparks flying for some of these guys 2 weeks ago, and some of those sparks were still in the air at Michigan last week. Are we in for another race full of tempers flaring? There's no other track on the schedule like it, and there's no other league out there like this one. It's time for slide jobs, and it's time for the dirt to go flying. It's dirt track racing night, and this is the NEXXTCAR Racing League.
Above it all, untouchable, a new animal. This is how legends are made.
Oh, here they come into the trial for a final time here tonight. Looking like we're about to witness another fantastic Talladega finish. Old school outside, D-Blood inside. It's going to be a drag race to the finish line. It's D-Blood getting it done.
This is how legends are made. I got the lightning inside me.
Oh, here they come through 3 and 4 for the final time here tonight at Michigan. D-Blood's going to slip up a little bit going into 3. That's going to open up the door for Tennessee, who's going to take full advantage. And Tennessee is going to lead them back to the checkered flag here as they battle side by side behind them for second. Here they come through 1 and 2 for the final time this season here in Season 6 of the NEXXTCAR Racing League. The 51 of Topster is going to lead the field back to the checkered flag. The 52 of Tuck is going to finish second in the race, but it's not going to be enough as the number 4 Toyota of Tennessee Titan is going to go back-to-back Truck Series championships here at Phoenix.
This is how legends are made.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to the NEXXTCAR Racing League with the Truck Series, heading back to my home state of Ohio. It is time to go racing at Eldora Raceway, and once again, we are joined up here in the booth. My name is Ronnie Noggle, and we are joined by James Iconelli. Once again, what is going on, James?
I'm doing fine. How about you, Ronnie?
I'm good, man. I'm ready for some throwback dirt-style racing here tonight. We thought the tempers were flying the last 2 weeks. Well, I have no doubt that they are going to be extremely high after this one.
Yeah, like, I'm not the most knowledgeable of dirt racing, but I most definitely tell you that dirt racing in general can bring out a lot of tempers. I don't remember how many tempers were brought out last season, but I know some drivers were not completely happy as with some of the stuff that happened. And with how this season has gone, oh boy, especially with 14 people, at least at the most 14 people racing, it's going to be pretty wild, I'll say.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, these last 2 weeks, Bristol 2 weeks ago, you know, we expected the bumpers to be used. We expected the tempers to flare. But I'll tell you what, Bristol was not the worst track that we have seen the tempers flare. Now, on Michigan last weekend, on the other hand, I really expected that to be more of a calm race. But you know what? Michigan is where the tempers really boiled over.
Yeah, that race, I felt like could have been a little more cleaner, but some of the drivers chose to do certain things, and it just, I mean, it happens, right? I'm not going to be controlling the drivers, so they control themselves. They do what they do on the track. That's their decision, and they are going to live with whatever consequences that's going to happen if, in the sense of if the driver is going to retaliate. But Michigan, speaking of which, was very honestly interesting race aside from stage 2 for us. But honestly, the race was just a little surprising with how it went, and yeah, I don't know. That race was pretty, I guess, just an interesting one for a couple of reasons.
Oh, absolutely. And it was a race that we saw Nick work his way back to victory lane the first time this season and adding his name to the very short list of winners this season.
Yeah, very short list, and thanks Tuck for that one. But also, it's something interesting to note, and I just feel like this would be interesting for the viewer, especially for people who know Nick. This is the first time he's won in a truck race in over 2 seasons. The last time he won a truck race was Season 5 at Atlanta. He did not win one Season 6, and hasn't won one until last week in Michigan. And let's be real, I don't think any of us completely thought he was going to win the race. I'm pretty sure both of our picks were not Nick. So, seeing him pull the strategy he did and being able to come up on top, and with it honestly being a kind of a popular win as well, I'm fine with it, you know?
Oh, absolutely. You mentioned strategy, and that's exactly what it took for him to grab that win. Everyone else went 4 tires, and he pitted with a couple other guys. I think there was like 4, maybe 5 others that joined him in that last couple laps pit stop. I think it was with like less than 10 to go. They had to make that final pit stop. And he came in with like 4 or 5 other guys. Well, he came out all by himself. Everyone else, 2 of which got a speeding penalty, and everyone else took 4 tires. He went ahead, took 2 tires, right sides only, barely making it back to the checkered flag before he blew a tire. But yeah, you mentioned it. Strategy is all it took for him to get that first win.
Hey, I mean, sometimes strategy is to play. So when the opportunity presents itself, why not take it? Obviously, Nick took it, and he got the victory because of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's go ahead and let's get our pre-race interview started here. We are doing it a little different this time. We are at the halfway point of the regular season. So we're going to be talking to some of these drivers that find themselves in the standings right now, right at that cutoff line to make the playoffs. So let's go ahead. Let's get your point standings up so you guys can see exactly what's going on. And let's get these pre-race interviews started. Nick, you got us, buddy?
Yeah, I got you, Ron.
All right, man. Last week, you got your first win of the season, adding your name to the very short list of different winners this season. How do you go back-to-back this week?
No, just be consistent through the stages and stay up front, stay out of trouble. We're pretty good at Eldora, so just stay up front, be consistent lap after lap, and there's going to be tons of carnage tonight, so just got to stay out of trouble and stay up front.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. One more question just for you, and then I'm going to ask a group question at the end of this thing. How has this journey been this season? You know, you missed the first race, maybe the first two. I'm not exactly sure. So you've had to fight your way into the playoff picture. Well, right now, as it sits, you are in the playoffs.
Yeah, it's been up and down. We started out pretty slow and then missing a few races at the beginning, and now we're coming on strong and having some consistent finishes, and getting the win last week was big, and now we're at another good track for us. So hopefully we can get another win, and then just remain strong throughout the season, and we'll be there come playoff time, and hopefully make the championship 4 again, and hopefully be there for the championship.
Yes, sir. Moving on to Jay Black. You there, buddy?
Yes, sir, Ronnie. How you doing, bud?
Pretty good, my man. All right, so little pre-race stuff went down before all this. We found out a driver had left who was currently inside the top 5. So you had just beat out Nick before that by 1 point. Had we have had to have the heat race, 1 point would have made it to where you were locked in tonight. How do you build that margin between yourself and the rest of your competitors? That way you're locked in here at the halfway point to make the rest of the season.
Yeah, I'm just pretty much looking to stay consistent. If I can stay in the top 5, I'll be happy. Everybody always wants to win, but I'm just setting a personal goal, man. If I can get inside the top 5, that's good points.
Yes, sir. How do you feel about tonight?
I like Eldora. I did a lot of dirt track racing before I came over and joined your guys' league, and it's been a big learning curve transitioning from the dirt to the asphalt, but hey, I'm hanging in there and I'm still doing it.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And moving on to Buckstopper. You got us, my man.
Yeah, I got you, man.
All right, buddy. So, as I was just mentioning to Jay Black, we found out that an individual had decided to depart from the league. Before this race, before we knew that information, you were below the playoff cutoff line, but now you are now above it. How do you go into tonight's race and the remaining races of the regular season and lock yourself into a playoff position?
I know I'm kind of one of the slower guys probably in this league, so I just kind of try to run my line, stay out of trouble, stay consistent, just try to get the best finishes I can. Most of the time I have to capitalize on other people's bad luck, which actually last week I had a really fast truck in Michigan. I just got wrapped up in some stuff, but I just hoping to hang out and be there at the end.
Absolutely, buddy. And that led me into my final question here is I do not believe Blake Thomas is in here, correct?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So one last question for the 3 of you guys. So the last 2 weeks, we have seen tempers flare. Start us off, Nick. How do you go through tonight's race and keep your cool?
Oh, yeah, it's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a lot like Bristol, short track racing. People are going to beat and bang, and I think there's going to be some arguments in the chat. So I keep my cool. I don't know if I'll be able to if someone takes me out and I'm in contention, but no, it's going to be a lot of people with hot heads already coming into it. So coming to a short track that a lot of people aren't the best at, and they're kind of just going to make laps and get some points. I think it's going to be. It might be a shit show, to be honest with you, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, yeah. In years prior, Eldora has either been the best race of the season or it's been one of the worst. It has not been anything in between.
We've had some really good races at Eldora, some close finishes, beating bang into the line. But, hopefully it's one of those races, and hopefully people just give each other room and respect each other. And we'll be policing that throughout the night. So.
Yes, sir. Jay Black, 150 laps tonight. How do you keep your cool and not add to the 2 weeks that have led to high tensions?
Man, it's like Nick said, it's just keep cool. Remember, there's 150 laps. You're not going to win it on the first turn. It's a lot of give and take, man. Just because you see an inch doesn't mean you got to jump in and take it right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
Just ride around, be patient, and everything should fall in line.
Yes, sir. Buckstopper, what you got there, buddy?
Well, I think the biggest thing is probably going to keep the race a little clean is me trying to get out of everybody's way. But, I raced for a while, and I've raced pretty timid, and I've let people shove me around, and it's got me more in trouble than not. So I think if you just hold your line and everybody realizes that's what it is, and cooler heads should prevail.
Absolutely. Yes, sir. All three of you guys made some very valid points here tonight, and best of luck to all three of you, and who knows, we could be talking to one of you three at the end of this thing from Victory Lane.
All right, thanks, Ronnie.
All right, man. We'll catch you later.
Yep.
Thanks, Ronnie.
Yep. Good luck, everybody. All right, James. We got some pretty good words of wisdom there from those three drivers who come into this thing right above that playoff cutoff line.
Yeah, like they mentioned, cooler heads, especially Buckstopper, cooler heads will prevail as long as everything, people just don't do stupid stuff. I will be blunt about it. As long as people don't do stupid stuff, try stupid things, or if people, just take it easy. Remember that there's 150 laps. There's a lot of time. I know, and also excuse my dog from barking in the background if you guys hear it, but I know people have told me that Eldora on this game is like a one-lane track. It is hard to pass. So you're going to see like a lot of slide jobs. But at the same time, you got to be patient and just try not to move them out the way. If stuff happens. But overall, just be patient. Apologize if needed. If you make a mistake, that will probably help with people not being as hot-headed. But just do the right things. Everything should be fine.
Oh, absolutely. People are going to most definitely get on each other's nerves here tonight. You mentioned it. Eldora in the past has been a one-lane track. Whether it's the high line that comes in and works or it's the low line. There's always just one line. And unfortunately, it's one of those things that slide jobs are going to happen, and they're going to happen very frequently tonight. And, these guys can say they're going to try and be patient. They're going to try and stay out of each other's way. Buckstopper mentioned that it's going to be him most of the time getting out of each other's way. But you know what? All that is fine and dandy until the green flag drops.
Yeah, it is one of those things that's way easier said than done to a certain degree. So, gotta be cool-headed, try not to make mistakes. When the green flag drops, it's a totally different beast. And I don't know how much different it is when you're on a racetrack or on the dirt track compared to asphalt, because I straight up don't like dirt track racing. I'm like one of the few NASCAR fans that don't. But yeah, like it's gonna be completely different, and how you view things is gonna be completely different. It's just how it is as a race car driver.
Absolutely, yes, sir. Let's go ahead and let's move on to your Season 7 truck point standings right now. Tuck working his way back up there to the points lead. Tennessee, even though Tuck has the most wins this season at 3, Tennessee, surprising or not, James, found himself holding on to that point standings 2 weeks in a row.
Well, consistency is key, and while Tuck's been consistent for almost all races, keyword being almost, because Canadian Tire, he had such a horrendous race that it gave 10 such a big lead. Actually, it was so horrendous that he didn't even get to second. He dropped to third, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure Pierce
passed him. Yes, sir.
So that just shows you how I mean, it's also early in the season too, so it makes sense that he's going to drop that far. But yeah, 10 on the other hand has been consistent out all year. The one race that Tuck really did not do good at, Canadian Tire, 10 swept everything if I'm not mistaken, except for like pole or fastest lap. I'm pretty sure it was pole,
Hmm.
and that also allowed him to be as close as he is. But yeah, Ted's been consistent all year, but obviously Tuck has won 3 races, been good at the other 2 that he hasn't won, or yeah, the other 2 that he hasn't won. So I mean, it makes sense why Tuck's in the lead, but it also makes sense why 10 is only 13 points behind him.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And then you got Pierce. You know, you mentioned it. He was up in second there, passing Tuck after Canadian Tire, but now he's fallen back to third. Eastwood, that is the name that we mentioned earlier. He has departed the league, given fourth place to Keystone now. Evo, this is going to be a big hit for Evo. As you can see, James, he's only separated by 3 points back to Ryuku, and then an additional 2 points. So a total of 5 points separates him, who is in fifth now, down to eighth. As we know, Evo will not be making the race tonight. So this is not a well-planned missing race.
Yeah, something tells me it might not be planned or completely planned,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I don't know if he'll actually be completely out of the top 10 after this. I don't think Toadster is making this race. I don't think he signed up for it. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I did not see him sign
I
up
don't
for it.
think so.
I think the league or the people racing were waiting on Blake Thomas for him to join and qualify. I don't think he is in qualifying, so he might not make it to the race. So you also have other factors that will help him stay in this top 10. But yeah, for sure, when it comes till the end of the season, it missing this race most definitely will be a little crucial.
Oh, absolutely. You know, especially right now at the halfway point. I mean, you can kind of, if you're Evo, you can kind of afford because you got a big gap. You're 41 points above now it would be Buckstopper rather. So that's a little off. You're 50 points right now above Buckstopper. So you can afford to kind of miss a race right now and then come back in the next couple of weeks and, put the pedal to the metal and go out there and win. So, yeah, I mean, like you said, it's probably not timed, which I'm not saying it is or isn't, but it's not the end of the world yet. But if it comes down to the end towards the beginning of the playoffs, that's when you can't really afford to miss it.
Yeah, and I was also team bit referring to because last season with points we did it. We gave people who were in the playoffs a certain amount of playoff points depending on where they finish in the regular season. That's where I'm more talking about.
Mm-hmm.
If we do the same thing there, he might not be getting as many playoff points as he would have gotten if he raced this race because of position or seeding, whatever you want to call it, or where he finished at the end of the regular season. That's more what I'm referring to. And I mean, every point matters when it comes to the playoffs, so yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, for sure, absolutely. And then Buckstopper. Now he's above that playoff cutoff line. So the line now is Sheepdog on down. So we got a couple of decent guys down there as well. Tater. Tater's found himself running some good races. I know he's not been racing a whole lot this season, but the races that he has been a part of, he's not been doing too bad. Canadian Tire, in the heat race, he finished second. For the majority of that heat race, he was keeping pace with Nick. But then when it came time for the actual main event, it's like he just completely lost all that speed he had in the heat race. But he just has not been able to fully put together a solid race so far this season. If he can, Tater could possibly be on the outside looking in at the playoffs.
Oh yeah, for sure. If he can, now I'm not saying that he's choosing not to make races.
Mm-hmm.
Just want to make that clear. But if he is able to finally make more races, I do think he can get into the playoffs. He is fast enough to do so. But another person that's fast enough to do so, which I don't know how likely it is considering he is one or just under 100 points behind the playoff cutoff line. that's so Michelson, he's finally making his return after Iowa, which was his first and only race that he ran, and he was pretty fast there. I don't know how good he is on dirt, but I mean, he is someone who can also, if he continues to make races and even get up and maybe get some wins or get very good points days, he can most definitely be in that playoffs or sneak his way into there at least.
Oh, for sure. And one more name I want to point out here in the point standings is that guy that we saw at Daytona for the Clash in the heat race, came out like a rocket ship, passing Evo, getting into the main event for the truck Clash, and that was Zach, our second Gordon. I know he has not made too many races, but I'll be honest, the speed he had at Daytona, and then I think he made 1 or 2 more races after that. I could be wrong, James. He had a lot of speed. And at this stage of the season, I did not expect to see him down there in what is now 16th.
Yeah, it's upsetting. I've raced with the guy. He's the reason why I league race in general. I will say that. He is the sole reason why I league race still. Him and partially Pierce is the reason why I league race. But yeah, he's fast. He most definitely is someone who can be in the playoffs. Maybe not win a championship, but if he can get better, he could. But it's just a matter of making races, which he's struggled to do so. There have been certain circumstances out of his control that he, as a result, could not make races. And then there's been times where stuff just happens where you couldn't make him in general. But it sucks to see him there. But, I mean, hey, that's how the cookie crumbles sometimes, so.
Absolutely, yes, sir. But they are done with qualifying and everything, so let's go ahead and let's meet your drivers who started this season out with the hopes and dreams of raising that championship trophy at the end of the season. Only a couple have been able to find their way to victory lane, making that dream a little more easier, but there's still a long way to go in this season. Let's go ahead and let's check them out.
Yeah, let's go. I'm unstoppable, do the impossible. I'm irresponsible, yet I'm phenomenal. I got an arsenal, I'm dropping bombs, you know. No, I'm not stopping, no. Conquer the obstacle, to the top, here I go, think I'm chosen to be the king of rock, think the people have spoken. I can hear the tick-tock of the clock, I'm in motion. So now I'm gonna pop, causing all this commotion.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.
I don't care what they all say. That's right, I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay. We work hard, then we all play. Yeah, I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man. Yeah, one day it all will be fine, man. Let's go. Gotta commit to the climb. You know we're back with the Guinness, setting records every minute, every track. In addiction to the fact that we're winning, still we lack something's missing. Need a track that is hitting, making racks, making millions. That's the mission. I don't waste time, no, I make time. All these people wanna hate, fine, I'ma make mine. While you sitting there complaining, I'll be training. While you sitting there just waiting, I'm creating.
Yeah, sometimes I think that I'm unstoppable. Yeah, ready to go, man, lock and load. That's right, I swear to God that I could drop you, bro. Yeah, I got a shot and I ain't stopping, no. That's how I know that I'm unstoppable.
All right, James. It is about to go down here at Eldora. First and only track race or dirt track of the season. Who's your pick here tonight?
Oh man, I'm gonna go 10 because last season he was there with Ranger, and honestly, arguably had the speed to go and win the race. Ultimately didn't, but I think he gets it done here today.
You know, I can see that. I mean, he qualified second for a reason, but I'm going to go with that guy that's got the dirt track name. That is Pierce Posse. Trenton, do not let me down in that 23, buddy. You are my pick here tonight. Go out there and transform that third place qualifying run to a win. But green flag is in the air here. Ole Michelson, you mentioned it, grabbing that pole here in his return from Iowa.
Yeah. And for the fans, I mentioned it as well. You guys were seeing the driver intros. So if you were wondering when I said it, that's when I said it. But I'm going to be honest, that paint scheme for Ole Michelson, I do kind of like it. I'm not going to lie. I dig it.
Oh, absolutely. That thing looks amazing. As we are trying to get all our graphics and everything up here and good to go. There we go. Still trying to get everything worked in on this new PC. Finally got the replay system up and working, so hopefully that'll happen as we are 3 wide out back coming off of 4 that last time.
Yeah, Ole Michelson attempted coming off of turn 4 to slide up in front of 10. Ultimately, 10 was there still, so they're still kind of side by side, but I expect at some point Ole Michelson will be able to clear him. He has the preferred line, and he does right there.
Absolutely, yes, sir. And here comes Pierce Posse. Who's the red car behind him?
That is Ryuku in the 15 truck.
It sure is. Running a new paint scheme for himself. Buckstopper, we talked to him in pre-race. He's currently found himself way out back. Back there with Jay Black, another driver we talked to in pre-race. So both of those guys not out to a good start here tonight. But someone I want to mention here before we get too far into this is the driver of that number 1 truck, Gordon. A longtime member of this league. His mom had to go to the hospital with pneumonia earlier this week. So thoughts and prayers stick with her and his family here as they go through this troubling time. He was able to make this race. He wasn't sure if he was going to or not. So shout out to Gordon there, buddy. And glad it's nothing too serious with your mom. And hopefully she can get back to 100% and get back to her normal life. But he's out here trying to make a good run for her. Currently running in the 9th position.
Yeah, he originally thought it was worse, and honestly, thank goodness that it is not worse. I don't care if you're like Gordon's like arch nemesis. You never want to see stuff like that ever happen to anyone at all. Or at least in my opinion, you never want to see that happen. So it's great that it's only pneumonia. It could not like something like a heart attack, blood clot, anything like that. That's super serious. Just thank goodness.
Absolutely, yes, sir.
Now, I'm going to say another thing. Even though this guy just got passed for 6, but look at the man himself, and I'm probably going to curse him anyways, but it's whatever. Keystone Cowboy, who, I'll be honest with you, is like on my skill level of dirt track racing. We both suck here, but this man is hanging tough in 6th place. Love to see it.
Yes, he is. We're on board Nick now, who's currently in the 7th position. He did not make qualifying, so he's starting to work his way back from up from the back. And we got James Snow back here, big battle with the 12 of Buck, and Jay Black working his way around both those guys as well. So, yeah, we got a couple of good battles going on here. Old Michelson, though, he's starting to put a little bit of a gap between himself and the rest of the field, and that is Pierce in the 23 and 2nd, right behind him.
Yeah, I want to go back to James Snow. I know there are a lot of times James Snow does do some questionable stuff, and it's more towards the back of the pack. But I don't know if you remember this, but last season in Eldora, at one of the, and I think in his 2nd race in the league, he did pretty well. He was mid-pack. He wasn't like up there leading, but he was doing way better than what he kind of set the standard for. He was mid-pack, making moves. And he was doing pretty well before lag caught up to him, but like, don't underestimate him here, and don't underestimate him here at this track. It will not bode well for you.
Oh, most definitely not. Wait a minute. I think we're getting word. I think James has just lagged out in that 88 truck, and he has. He has just blown an engine as we were just talking about him. And the broadcaster curse James continues.
I'm not gonna talk about it. I don't want to talk about it.
just as we were talking, or you were mentioning how good he did last season, well, sorry about it, James. But old Michelson continues to pull away out front.
Now, you guys at home probably saw this on Ronnie's screen, but obviously James Snow is on the track. That's the quote-unquote pit road for this. Last season, we saw someone, Ronnie, that wrecked or caused a caution and wrecked because James Snow is right there. I just wonder if it's gonna happen again this season, or this race, I should say.
You know, I would not be surprised. That is one thing I never understood with this game as to why it puts the car right there. Like, I get, obviously, when you blow an engine or whatever, it moves the car to pit lane, but I don't understand why exactly it puts all the cars down there in the turns, because when you're coming around that turn and you see, you know, most of these guys try to run as close as they can to protect that inside line so they don't get dive bombed and slide jobbed. Well, coming out of turn number 4, the guy's right there in your front windshield. So,
yeah, I feel like if anything, they could have just kind of like made a place on the infield and just got it where if someone leaves, just put the truck slash late model or whatever else is in this game there and not on the inside wall, because that is part of the track and people using it in.
Absolutely, and I stand corrected. It is out of turn number 2, not 4. Right. I said it was coming out of 4. It is actually coming out of 2. But, yeah, I mean, that's just not where I would put it. But I'll tell you what, old Michelson and Pierce are pulling away from the rest of this field. And Tennessee is starting to really kind of fall back as he is back in 5th now.
I just wonder if he's going to need to make an adjustment, because while you don't need to make adjustments or do anything with your truck in this race at all, some people do have some setups and sometimes it is worth putting them in. But, you know, but just, I just saw something. I think something happened to Nick, because he is now way behind, people like Keystone, who he recently passed, Sheepdog, Gordon, and I think J Black as well. I think he may have caught a piece of James Snell. He may have not. I don't know what happened, but he is behind now.
Yeah, and that's not at all where you want to be right now, because you're right now right in the middle of it all. I mean, there's a big gap between the front half of the field and where you are right now. And as we've seen this season so far, the guys sitting basically right in front of him, not anyone in particular, but right around this part of the field is where the mayhem really starts to happen. So this is not where you want to be, especially right now when everyone's sliding around everywhere trying to run the same line. As you see Gordon put J Black up into the wall there. So, and that opens up the door for Nick to try to take that position. Let's see if he's going to have to do a slide job. And he's going to slide job J Black right on into turn number 3. You know, we mentioned it, slide jobs were going to be a part of tonight's race. Well, we just got a prime example and another prime example of it once again off of 4.
I don't know if that was a product of Nick maybe putting him into the wall, or where he was clear and J Black thought he wasn't and kind of put himself in the wall trying to give Nick room or something like that. I couldn't tell, but yeah. At least Nick got around him, though, doing a somewhat safer slide job, I guess you can say. But yeah, not something super aggressive, which is what you like to see, at least when it comes to trying to keep a cool head and all that.
Absolutely, and old Michelson now has some lap traffic to deal with, as he is now all over the back bumper Built, who's going to go way up high, opening up that inside, letting old Michelson go by here, and Pierce holding it way up high, letting both leaders go by. So heads up move there by Built. The leaders definitely appreciate that. That is for sure. But Tuck's starting to kind of work his way up to the front here. He's up to 4th here. He passed Tennessee quite a few laps ago. But now he's got a mirror full of Tennessee once again, trying to make the pass right on back. You know, we mentioned it. The one race that Tuck really struggled at, Tennessee obviously went out there and won. And a caution flies for the first time tonight. I'm not exactly sure what happened. We're going to have to wait on word from race control. Well, we're getting word from race control. The driver of the number 1 made contact with that inside wall, taking out the 3 truck and the 38. And that brings out your first caution of the night. While we're under caution, let's take a quick replay of the slide job. Everywhere trying to run the same line as you see Gordon put J Black up into the wall there. So, and that opens up the door for Nick to try to take that position. Let's see if he's going to have to do a slide job. And he's going to slide. That is a slide job right there if I have ever seen one. But green flag is back out in the air here for stage number 1. Coming to 6 laps to go, and this field stacks up behind the orange truck on the outside line. 6 laps to go this time. Keystone hard up against the wall. Caution is not out. He's going to fall way behind the field, and they are coming to 5.5 laps to go this time. As we have got Nick trying to work his way up through the calamity. Sheepdog stuck on the inside. Tennessee is now finding himself back here in the thick of it all after losing several positions on that restart. He finds himself back here in the 7th position. Oh, we got Pierce around. We got several guys around, and everything falls apart in front of him. It's a parking lot through turns 1 and 2 right now. Caution flies again.
Yeah, so I want to apologize. I had to take care of some stuff, so I was really silent for a long time. But looking at Pierce's stream, went a little too low, hit the inside wall going into the corner, and just caused mayhem for that. We gotta shed some light on what happened in that incident.
We're getting word as well. That is not the end of the stage. They're going to have a 1 or 2 lap sprint to settle stage number 1. We got that crash on. As we have got Nick trying to work his way up through the calamity. Sheepdog stuck on the inside. Tennessee is now finding himself back here in the thick of it all after losing several positions on that restart. He finds himself back here in the 7th position. Oh, we got Pierce around. We got several guys around in.
We are green flag in the air.
Yes, sir. White flag and green flag shown at the same time. It's a 1-lap shootout. Can Old Michelson hold off a hard-charging Tuck in the 20? Or is Tuck, it's going to be a drag race to the line. Old Michelson's going to get him. The 99 of Old Michelson finds his way to the pole, dominates stage number 1, and gets the win here in stage number 1 in a drag race back to the line with that 20 truck of Tuck. Well, James, that was a pretty clean first stage, if I'm not mistaken.
It definitely seemed clean. I didn't see all that much, if I'm being honest. I'm hoping drivers don't take anything that happened this stage super upset, but who knows? Who knows?
Yeah, you never know. I mean, dirt track racing here at Eldora tonight, this would be the track that I really would expect tempers to flare here in Bristol. And with the way this season's gone, I would not be surprised if everyone was calm and perfectly fine after tonight's race. That's just how this season has gone.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting season, to say the least.
You are not wrong, and what a jump old Michelson got on that restart. But here comes Sheepdog in the 7. He's up to 3rd.
Yeah, he started 4th. He got a good
and we got another parking lot through 1 and 2, the 17. And I think that's Sheepdog. That is No, it's not Sheepdog. Who's back there in the same paint scheme as him? That's Bill.
I want to say that's Bill, yeah.
So caution flies again on the 2nd lap of stage number 2.
It almost looks like 2 separate incidents, if I'm being honest with you. There was an incident between Pierce and Keystone where Pierce got a little too under him. I think hit the inside wall again and got them around. And I think Bill went around. I don't know if Keystone tagged him before he went around, but if so, it makes sense that he went around. If not, then it's basically just 2 separate incidents.
Yes, sir. And something that these drivers are not going to have to deal with tonight, pit stop strategies. Pit stops. are not happening here tonight.
Not unless people want to make adjustments, but that is up to the driver themselves.
Yes.
Not
Absolutely. Can old Michelson get another big jump on the restart? Tuck's going to really hold his own there on that outside, but they're going to clear each other heading into one. Old Michelson, is he going to have to do a slide job? Tuck's getting a big run off of 2, though, but he's not. He is on his outside. Sheepdog with nowhere to go, tried the outside, gave Tuck a huge push coming out of turn number 4. I don't know if you saw that, James, but I think Sheepdog forgot that this is a short dirt track and they are not at Daytona or Talladega.
Yeah, I did not see it. I did see Michelson kind of go up the track a little bit and hit Tuck, but I'm pretty sure that was only a result because of James Snow being on the track, and I think he just kind of maybe overdid it a little bit coming out the corner. But yeah, that's just what happens when you leave a still truck on the track for some reason.
Oh, Tennessee's going to stack up the field as he's going to go around, and it's another parking lot here in turns 3 and 4. Oh, man, where's the valet? This parking lot needs the police to monitor it. They are having trouble parking them. No caution! The game does not call the caution. Wow.
Probably because Pierce is not involved for once.
Yeah. But Tennessee causes a stack up there. The lead, caution is out, but not a game caution, surprisingly. You had 2 guys, Keystone and Built, stopped down there in a couple turns and game through a caution. You had 5 people around that time. Game said, nope, you ain't getting a caution.
Very, very interesting to say the least on that.
We're getting word from race control that any manual caution will be a 2-lap pacing. So they're going to go this time. They will go green this time by. You see Tennessee started in, second. He has got his work cut out tonight as he is going to choose that inside line, it looks like. But he is way back in the back, and now he's going to jump to the outside. We got a lot of talking back and forth here, trying to figure out where the Geico restart line is. So this could be a very interesting restart here, James.
Oh, I'm looking forward to it.
We're getting word they're going to go right here in this Eldora box, and old Michelson is going to hit the gas, and he's going to get a great restart. So they're going to be using, for future reference, James, those 3 Eldoras coming out of turn number 4 on the outside wall.
Uh-oh. And there goes Jay Black. I don't know what happened, but he got into Gordon and...
Buckstopper, Tennessee, Buckstopper. Multiple, that's going to be another caution.
I'm looking at Pierce's stream here because Buckstopper ended up hitting Pierce to cause that. I just wonder if I think Buckstopper just kind of sent it in a little too deep and it just kind of caused that one to happen.
Which is very easy to do. At this track, it's like if you hit the white line down there just to the right of the wall there. As soon as you hit that, I don't know what it is, but it just pulls your truck right around to the left, and you're going to go around. So, yeah, it's like you said, he just drove it in too deep, and it's like he got a left tire down below that white line, and right around he went.
Well, it's not only that, but it also helps when you hit the truck that's in front of you. That also helps in spinning you out sometimes, I'm going to be honest. But, yeah, it does happen sometimes, I guess. Again, I'm not a dirt racing expert, so you're going to have to help me on this if I'm right or wrong. But,
whoa.
Yeah, that's all I can say about it.
Where's Tuck going?
I think he was trying to give his friend James Snow a little kiss or something.
Good.
That's my guess.
Trying to toss him a water bottle. Green flag is going to be back out in the air this time. Nick trying to make it 3 wide as old Michelson's way up against the wall. Not really sure what that strategy is. I don't even know who the control truck was at that point. But old Michelson's going to beat him back to the line, and they all stack up out back 3 wide through 1 and 2. And we got someone just smacking the wall. Jay Black goes around again. Buckstopper takes out 4 more out back.
I can already tell we're about to go single file again if this keeps up. Because at this, I don't know what's happening with all this stacking up stuff. And I don't know if this is common in dirt track racing, but this is getting a little out of hand.
Yeah, it's
Fortunately,
not.
this time
Go ahead.
Fortunately, this time we have a game caution
Mm-hmm.
to help us with the restart. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, stacking up is not really common in the dirt track racing. As long as everyone's paying attention. You know, I think the problem that these guys are really starting to run into right now is I know they have the 3 Eldoras up on the outside wall, but there's no clear-cut restart zone. And I think that's what's stacking everybody up on. And it really seems to be both lines that stack up. It's not one or the other. So it's just people may not be paying too much attention to the restart zone, I guess. You know, because you're used to that big blue box. And when that's not there, it's like, where do I go? What do I do? You know, and I think that's what's really kind of leading to everyone stacking up here. And like you said, these guys keep it up, that single restart. We saw it happen, was it Bristol? No, it was Michigan last week that they went to the single file.
I'm pretty sure it happened, I think, at Iowa, too. It wasn't the first time it's happened this season. I forget which track it was, but it's not the first time at all that's happened.
No, and as soon as you go to single file, that always seems to clear it up. Now, here, it might be a different story with, you know, dirt and everything. I don't know, but who knows? But I'll tell you what, that 20 truck on that high line is impressing me right now. He is holding his own out there.
Yeah, and I kind of overheard him talk with some other drivers before this race, and he mentioned that he would have been glad if he just got a top 5 this race. And right now he's battling for the lead, so I don't know if he's, like, turning into one of those drivers, but, like, I mean, if it works, I guess.
Absolutely. Ryuku with a nice move there on Sheepdog coming out of 4 that time. But Tuck still side-by-side battling old Michelson for the lead. So it looks like he may end up having to prevail this time. Old Michelson trying a little bit of slide job. He's going to clear, but Tuck really having to save that truck as he's going to come down and make a little bit of contact with Pierce there. Heading into 1, and here comes Nick. Someone who we have not seen up front much at all tonight. He's making his way up into the 4th, trying to make the pass on Tuck for 3rd.
Yeah, I mean, Nick's a good dirt track racer, at least from what I've heard. But obviously he had to start in the back, and then he screwed up at one point trying to get back up to the front. Now he's finally back. Actually, he got, if I'm not mistaken, not 4th. What place did he get? Did he get 3rd? Yeah, he got 3rd in the first stage, so he already got a good amount of points, and he's right back in 3rd. We'll see if we can get around Pierce and maybe even on Michelson.
Yes, sir. And someone else I want to keep an eye on is the driver of that 17 truck. Now, I know Keystone all season long and his entire time in NEXXTCAR, he always claimed he hated this track. He sucks at dirt track racing. Well, earlier on tonight, he's found himself up towards the front, you know, middle pack to the high. And now he finds himself out back, but he was just caught up in those 2 cautions back to back, which didn't help him at all. But it's going to be interesting to watch him work his way up through this field as he's now behind Bilt and Jay Black, who is now battling with Gordon and Buckstopper. But it's going to be interesting to watch that 17 truck make his way up through this field. Jay Black as well. I mean, we talked to him, Buckstopper in the pre-race, and those guys are right there on the playoff cutoff line, James. And, yeah, I mean, right now they're in the playoffs, but if they continue to run not the greatest, pretty soon they could find themselves outside.
Well, it's not even just that, but, like, you want to at least, because the regular season is not the longest. We're literally the halfway point of the regular season, and this is the 6th race. So you only have 4 more races after this that are regular season races. So you would want to at least, if not this race, at least in the next race, you try to get a little bit better finishes so you can have some type of momentum going into the playoffs. And if anything, I feel like that's a little more important. If people continue to not always show up, they might not completely worry about getting out of the playoffs, but like momentum wise, it will be great for them to get very solid finishes.
Absolutely, yes, sir. But it continues to be old Michelson leading the way here at Eldora.
Ooh.
Finally clearing Tuck and the rest of the field. Pierce up to second, Tuck back to third, Nick fourth, and Ryuku rounds out your top 5.
I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought we were gonna have a replica of what happened in Stage 2 in Michigan, because everyone just started lagging for a split second on my screen, and I was not gonna be happy. Would have been horrible.
I hope not. We cannot afford another Stage 2 in Michigan because apparently that was the best stage of the night. And unless you were in the booth with us, that was about the worst stage of the night. But 14 laps to go here this time in Stage 2.
Yeah. You know, I'm not gonna lie, I was really considering picking old Michelson for my pick of the race. Almost seems like I should have, with the way he's run so far, but I mean, I'm not gonna switch over now. There'd be no reason to.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, this is something that I absolutely love about the dirt track. You don't know who is going to be good on the dirt track until you come here. You know, it's just, you know, you have your people with the restrictor plate races of Daytona and Talladega. You know who the good people are. Road courses, you know who the good guys are. But dirt track racing, you only have this style track one race a season. So you don't know precisely who is going to be the best out here. As you see, Pierce really put Tuck into the wall. So you don't know who the best is until you come here that season. It's not like you can predict, oh, such and such is going to come out here and dominate. You don't know that because so much changes from last season to this season to next season. More, you know, new people come in, old people leave, and you just don't know who's going to be that dominating factor. Well, tonight, it's looking like old Michelson may be that dominating factor.
Yeah, and not only that, but you also, like you were kind of mentioning, have people that usually aren't that great at other racetracks do at least decent or amazing at this track. And I'll give an example. There's no offense to this guy, but Sheepdog I don't think he's made every single race due to not making it from the heat race, but right now he is battling 10 to try and keep 6th spot. He's been putting in amazing work for this race, it seems like, and I mean, it's shown. And then you also have a Michelson, another rookie, and we saw how good he did at Iowa, or at least speed-wise, but like that was our only taste of how good he could be. So this was like a big question mark for him here for this league, and that's kind of the reason why I didn't pick him, because it was such a big question mark that I wanted to go with a safer pick. But he's out here trying to prove me wrong, apparently. Whatever.
Absolutely, and you know, you mentioned, you know, your pick and everything. Well, Tennessee's actually kind of struggling back here behind Sheepdog. You know, it's nothing Sheepdog's doing. He's not blocking 10, but it all comes down to what you mentioned in the pre-race, James. Eldora is a single file track, you know, and right, oh, his 10's going to make big contact with that inside wall there. Caution's going to fly. That was built, it looks like. And Nick?
No, that's
no
not
Keystone.
Nick. Keystone, is that Keystone? Yeah, I guess that was Keystone. Yeah, yeah, that's Keystone.
Well, we are in for another shootout here to end stage number 2.
Oh boy.
Can old Michelson hold on once again?
Can it please be 2 laps at least? Not 1 lap. That would be great. That would be fantastic. But I'm sure if I'm on Michelson though, I would probably be frustrated, because this is the second time that you're going to have to do a shootout to try and keep this lead and win the stage. I mean, that's just frustrating for sure.
All right, green flag is back out. 2-lap shootout here to end stage number 2.
Alright, thank goodness it's at least 2 laps and not 1. Thank goodness.
Pierce trying to put his nose underneath the 99 of old Michelson. Old Michelson.
Uh-oh. That's 3 wide.
Oh, caution's out. That's going to end stage number 2. Old Michelson, as we had major contact. It looks like it may have been Keystone once again. No, Keystone's clear. We had 2 guys that were stopped.
Gordon and Buckstopper.
Yeah, it was.
Gordon and Buckstopper. Yeah,
Man.
wow.
But old Michelson sweeps the stages here tonight.
I mean, it's deserving. Dude's dominated the first 2 stages, so it makes sense why he has.
Man, what a show old Michelson is putting on here tonight.
Oh yeah, it's been amazing to see. A little bit. And I'll say a little bit because I'm not much of a dirt track guy. So I'll be kind of honest. But I'm sure when it comes to dirt track racing, it's probably amazing for the people who watch dirt track racing. But yeah, he's been, I mean, it's not like he's been super far ahead of people. But like, it's not like they're super close either. He has a gap usually almost every time.
Mm-hmm.
Unless he's side by side with Tuck, which seems like it's happened for a decent amount of this race. But for the most part, it's been a little bit of a gap. He's just been controlling the race this whole time. And I mean, if you're a fan of the 99, you love to see it.
Absolutely. He has got to control this race for 55 and a half more laps here tonight, which is going to go by in about 10 minutes. So, can the guy continue to dominate? Or is Tuck going to finally get that high line to work for him and get around him? He's got Nick now all over his back bumper. So Nick is in a pretty interesting spot as Tennessee's falling way back here. He's outside the top 5 and behind the front pack. Jay Black trying to work his way up from a couple incidents so far here tonight. He's worked his way up now to the 7th position, so good recovery for him. Especially the guys that he's racing right now in the points. I mean, he's got Buckstopper around him. He's got Nick, who's up there inside the top 5, but he's got a couple positions on Buckstopper. So this should help Jay Black quite a bit in the points. But 2x2 up front here in front of Ryuku. The top 4 side by side by side heading into turn number 3.
Yeah, so I barely have ever ran Eldora, if I'm being honest, in general in this game. So I don't know if this is surprising or not, but I am kind of surprised how people on the outside could stay side by side with someone on the inside, and sometimes even make the pass work. But I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me because, again, one-line track, yet it seems like it could be one of those tracks where if you're on the outside of someone in that preferred lane, that outside seems to work a little better depending on who's on the inside.
It was going to work until Nick just stuck his nose in the middle there where there was not enough room. And now Tuck's going to do the same thing to old Michelson. And they're going to be 3 wide, almost 4 wide for the lead here coming to the line. And they go, the 2 swap. Now Tuck finds himself still leading, but old Michelson goes from the front left corner of this pack to the right rear.
That's very interesting. Yeah, I didn't completely see what happened. I didn't see what Nick did. I think the 99 thought that the 20 and 23 weren't 3 wide, and he just kind of started turning down and ran into the 20, or ran into the door of the 20, but I don't know.
That was definitely interesting to watch, and now Pierce finds himself leading the charge on the inside. Tuck still on the outside, but here comes Nick in that 3 truck. Remember, Nick won last week at Michigan, getting his first win of the season. Now, giving a big run here to Pierce in that 23 truck, trying to figure out where is he going to go here to try to make it back-to-back wins here tonight. But Tuck, this is about the longest we have seen him holding that high line.
Yeah, the 15 really went around. Almost looks like at least got a little loose coming off the corner, but was able to keep it straight. I thought he was about to hit James Hill, if I'm being honest, but he didn't, thankfully. But yeah, it looks like Pierce finally gets the lead.
Yeah, Tuck
Clear.
just that high line. Like I said, that's the longest we've seen Tuck really able to hold it and hold it alongside the leader, even after everything that happened there. But eventually, the low line's gonna prevail.
Yeah. I guess it just depends on who the truck is on the inside. If they're slower, you can probably make it work on the high side, but they're about the same speed. You can probably only do so much. But
Oh, Nick! Nick put his nose under Pierce coming off of 4.
I want to say that seems like a little bit of a product of dirt racing in general.
Mhm.
Uh oh, wait, is there lap traffic in front of him?
There is.
I just saw some
Going
dirt.
through 3 and 4 right now. That is built in the 58.
Oh, that is, isn't it? Yeah. I was gonna say I saw some dirt getting kicked in the air. I didn't know who it was, but yeah, I guess it is built.
But the front 4 leaders starting to pull away from Tennessee in 5th and Ryuku in 6th. And Jay Black still holding his own back there in 7th. So a very solid run here tonight for Jay Black, who, like we mentioned, he's been caught up in some incidents here tonight. Well, he is starting to kind of recover very well. Zol Michelson's going to give Tuck a little bit of a shot through 1 and 2.
I just wonder how Michelson feels about that whole situation, getting put 3 wide when he probably didn't realize that they were 3 wide. And yeah, it just almost kind of reminds me of what happened last season with Pierce, where he dominated. I think he won both. No, he at least won on first stage. I don't think he won the second stage. But as soon as he wrecked himself and got back into traffic, his truck just kind of went away. I wonder if the same thing's going to happen with Michelson.
And it very well could be, as you see Built going way up high, letting the leaders run this low line, getting out of their way. It's going to kind of hurt Nick a little bit, who can't get that big momentum off the run. But Pierce way down low. He's going to get really loose there. That's going to open up the door for Nick, who can't really do anything with it with Built there. And they're going to clear him heading into 1. That got really tight there through 3 and 4 that last time.
Now, all I'm gonna say is with what's happening out in front, Tuck Michelson's kind of falling back a teeny, but that's allowed 10 to actually kind of catch up with them. So 10 being a 5th, just trying to show off.
Built's around on the backstretch. Oh, never mind. That was lag. Disregard.
I do not see where Built. Oh, I mean, he may have went around and then.
No, his car rocketed back to speed. No, so it was lag. Big lag spike. But we have got a huge battle right now for the lead. The front 2 really pulling away from the rest of the field. Tuck in 3rd.
Yeah, it's very interesting. Pierce has been very fast all race, and then Nick finally getting back to the front, now staying in front, trying to get the lead here from Pierce. At some point, at least, it's not able to. Well, hitting the wall doesn't get you the lead, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't move. But yeah, I think I don't know how he's gonna play this. I don't know how you would play to try and pass someone for the lead, but yeah, I mean, at some point he's gonna have to. I just don't know how he would do it.
Someone else that is rebounding very nicely here. You know, Tennessee had a big gap between himself and the top 4. Well, now he's all over the back bumper of Zol Michelson. So the top 5 really pulling away from everyone else. And then you got Ryuku kind of in an island of his own back there. No one really around him. And then Jay Black behind him. So the field really kind of starting to get a little spread apart here. You got your front 5. Then you got one car, then another truck, and then a couple others out back. So the field's starting to get pretty spread out here.
Yeah, I just feel like Ryuku's kind of stalking everyone a little bit with where he's at. I don't know if he's trying all he can or if he's just trying to, you know, kind of watch and learn how everyone's driving and see maybe he can pick up on a few details that'll help his truck later in the race or help his race out as time goes on. But yeah, he is basically just by himself. He just like basically no man's land. If someone makes a mistake, unless they spin out, he's probably not going to be able to pass him. but like he's far enough in front of 7th place where if he makes a mistake, as long as he doesn't spin out, he'll be fine and stay in the position.
Yes, sir. 30 laps to go here tonight. Old Michelson dominated stages 1 and 2, but now he finds himself back here in the 4th position, battling Tennessee right now on his outside heading into turn number 1. Then you had guys, I'm not going to say Pierce didn't show speed in the first 2 stages, but Nick most certainly did not. Well, now Nick finds himself up there battling for the lead. So, like you said, Old Michelson's truck might be starting to, fade away here a little bit as you got some of these other guys' trucks starting to come to life.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened last season, like I mentioned. Wouldn't be a surprise if it happened again this season, so it is what it is.
Absolutely. Pierce has got a mirror full of that 3 truck behind him. Eventually, something I'm going to bring up is Nick in the post-race interviews last week, as they are closing in on that 1 truck of Gordon. He mentioned last week, if needed, he will move someone for the win. Now, I know Pierce heard that. Do you think that is in Pierce's mind right now?
I feel like no, only because he probably forgot about it. I mean, heck, I forgot about it. I'll be honest, I completely forgot about it. So, they are a driver, so he is a driver, so it might be hard for him to forget about it.
Drivers remember everything.
Drivers do remember everything, and right now I'm not a driver, so I mean, that's probably why I don't remember it. But I do know those two have a good amount of respect for each other. So if it does come to a point where Nick might have to move him, I don't know if he actually will, or if he does, we will just give him a light tap to try and knock him up a lane or 2, which is how you should probably move people in general, but that's neither here nor there. And I don't know if that's how you do it in dirt style racing, but I'm pretty sure at some point Pierce is probably thinking about it in general because he's in the lead, but I just wonder also if, because Nick's behind him, if he figures it's Nick, he's not going to do it, or it's Nick, he is going to do it. I don't know.
Right, and maybe something else that Nick is worried about and just waiting on is all this lap traffic ahead of our leaders. You see right in front of Pierce, they're side by side. And then you got Sheepdog up there. I'm sorry, not Sheepdog, but Built once again up there in front of them. So they have got a ton of lap traffic. As you see, Keystone, big contact. That's going to stack up Nick behind him with nowhere to go. And that is really going to help Pierce out, as now they got a big gap between first and second.
That was very interesting. I want to see what happens here. Oh, I think Keystone just kind of went up the track a little bit. Pierce just went below him as a result, and James Snow played a factor once again, even though he's not racing this race. Kind of forced Pierce to go up a little bit so he wouldn't hit him, and ended up hitting Keystone.
Breaking news, the Ford truck of Tennessee Titan has blown an engine as well.
Well,
that is not what you want to see if you're a fan of that Ford truck.
Why is this truck on the outside wall?
It's currently disconnecting. That is why.
Ah.
It hit him with that DNS disconnect server again. So, well, that is not what you want to see if you are
That's a caution?
a fan of that. The game may have called it.
No, that's not a game caution. This is a manual caution.
Oh, it is?
I don't know what happened. You might have to get a word from Racing Control, but yeah, that was... I don't know what happened. At least 10 is ghosted. I think he still got plenty of... there goes 10.
So we're getting word that several trucks, we didn't see it at all, went around and wrecked. So that's what the manual's for. And then the Ford truck as well stopped up on that high line with that blown engine. And there he is now sitting on pit road after getting towed back to the pit road.
Quote unquote pit road, we'll call it.
Yeah, yeah.
At least he's not in a spot where like James Snow is. But yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that sucks if you're that 4 truck. But you know what? This caution came out at a perfect time for Nick, because you saw with Keystone, he had a big gap form there between himself and Pierce. Well, Nick does not get going. That's going to stack everyone up behind him, and now he's going to fall back to 4. Tuck's going to drive it in deep and make big contact there with Pierce.
On that restart, it's not only just the fact that Nick didn't get a great restart, but right when Pierce went, Tug gave him a shove, so those two got off to a blistering start. I'm pretty sure that's why it looks a little worse than it did, but that was a very great start by those two.
Yeah, you know, restarts are all about timing. It doesn't matter if it's at a short track here like Eldora or if you're at Daytona. It's all about timing, and if you can time them perfectly, you are going to get an amazing restart. But once again, well, he's not going to quite get there, but I was going to say, old Michelson is going to make Tuck have to fight on that outside.
Yeah, he's nearly there, but yeah, not quite like you said. This is when those two get side by side. This is going to be incredibly well for Pierce. Those two, even when they went side by side before, have most definitely held up people behind them a little bit, which makes sense. That's just racing in general, but just like racing in asphalt, it's just gonna stack everyone up, not stock, and Pierce will just be able to drive away more than likely.
Yeah, those two getting side by side, that's exactly what you want to see if you're Pierce, but that is not what you want to see if you're Nick or anyone else right behind them, because like you said, when those two got side by side before, it was definitely stacking up everyone behind him. So Pierce, didn't really talk about him a whole lot so far during this race before he got up to the front. So he's been slowly working on his truck, getting it up to the front. Hey, what the fuck are you doing? Stop.
It's kind of weird because this dude was pretty much all up in the front for majority of this race, if not all the race, and he's your pick, and you haven't talked about him that much.
I know, it's weird.
At least my pick wasn't up in front that much.
It's
no
weird.
offense, 10. No offense, 10.
You know, because,
I'm just saying that.
I mean, in stages 1 and 2, this was old Michelson's race to lose. But that's what that quote-unquote clean air gets you. You know, when you get that clean track ahead of you, you don't have to worry about anyone except a lap truck here and there, because the stages are so short, it's very rare that you're going to have to deal with a whole lot of lap traffic. Well, now he's back here in 3rd, and we've seen him back to 5th at one point, but this is just what happens when you're stuck in traffic, you know? Him and Tuck been battling what seems like the entire race, and he just has not exactly been able to really rebound so far.
Yeah, I mean, it happens. It does happen. I mean, again, we've seen it last season's race at Eldora that Pierce spun out, crashed, and when he was leading the race in its entirety at that point, and just was not able to rebound. So,
oh, really close there between old Michelson and the back bumper of Tuck. I thought for sure he was going to give him a huge shot. But someone that's really starting to fall off, he was holding pace with Pierce, and that is that 3 truck. Now there's a big gap between himself and the top 3. But Gordon, I'm not exactly sure what happened to that 1 truck, but he finds himself way out back battling now with that 58 truck a little bit ahead of him.
yeah. I don't know either, but ooh, J-Black kind of sent it in on. Right, look at a teeny bit.
I was just about to say that. I'm on that 7 truck who's right behind him. And yeah, J-Black definitely sent her in there a little too deep there.
Yeah. But we're honestly
We're at 4
setting,
laps to go. I am sorry.
Yeah, I was gonna say we are setting ourselves up for a potential kind of weak 4-lap shootout between the top 3. And I only say kind of weak because Pierce is pulled away from 2nd to 3rd, and doesn't seem like they're going to be catching him unless caution happens. Which, I mean, I wouldn't mind it from the spectator standpoint, but I'm just saying.
I mean, you're not wrong. With 3 laps to go, anything can happen. And if you're the 3 truck or anyone else, you want that caution. You want this late race caution because you want a quick shootout to try to get back up there and into the top 3, possibly a win. But if you're Pierce, that yellow flag is the last thing you want to see. But if you're old Michelson, you want that last chance at redemption for this win. But a lap and a half left, James, here in the only dirt track race of the season.
Yeah, Pierce does seem to have this in the bag as long as he doesn't wreck himself.
Absolutely. That 23 truck has yet to win this season. Well, he's seen everyone around him win. Tuck in Tennessee on that list. Well, tonight, Pierce has ran a flawless 3rd stage, and he is going to come off of turn number 4. The 23 is going to victory lane for the first time this season. Tuck in 2nd with a side-by-side finish with old Michelson. But it's not going to be enough for that number 99 truck as he's going to finish in 3rd. Nick 4th. Ryuku rounding out your top 5 with Jay Black back in 6th. Bugstopper coming home in 8th. A solid night for him. Built 9th. Keystone rounding out the top 10. Gordon 11th. And then you had your 2 DNFs of Tennessee and James Snow. But Keystone. Pierce finding his way to victory lane, James, for the first time this season.
Yeah, but I mean, he's been one of the fastest trucks in this league in recent memory, so it was weird to see him not win a race until Texas last season, but he finally gets that elusive win this season. And now it just depends on if he can build on this for the rest of the season and postseason.
Yes, sir. Fastest lap is going to go to old Michelson. He grabbed the pole, and he's going to grab the fastest lap as well. But we're going to get the top 3 finishers in here for the post-race interviews. Do not go anywhere. We will be right back.
Hello, about to blow back up. Here I'll never let the doubt creep in. Gotta pop a couple more aspirin. I don't think I'll ever let you win. Easier to break it off as friends. I don't really understand myself. I don't really understand, need help. I don't wanna be left on the shelf. Couldn't even hear me if I yelled. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone. I'm alright. It's so cold. Break down, always feel like I could break now, but I never let it take me to that place now. I won't ever let my thoughts get away now. I got better things to do, picking fate now. I just wanna be the best, call me great now. I don't know if I'm okay or insane now. I remember better days on the playground, hoping I can find my way to even when I'm feeling down. I fight, even when I don't know what is right. I'ma pick a side, and I'ma take pride. I will decide my fate, and I will never let them tell me who I am. If you try to shape me, I'll be damned. Planet on the ground is where I stand. Never give up, that was always the plan. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold outside. I'm alone, I'm alright. It's so cold.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back here to Eldora Raceway for the post-race interviews. What a race we saw here tonight here in the one and only dirt track of the season. Let's start it off with your third place finisher, Ole Michelson. What's going on, buddy? I'm good, brother. What a return to the series you had here tonight. Last time you raced was Iowa. Well, you came out here and you absolutely dominated in stages 1 and 2. Absolutely, yes, sir. So, were you pretty confident coming in here tonight?
Is pretty consistently, and he's like, "Oh yeah, that's what I'm running." I was like, I'm not gonna be very good, I don't think." And I don't know. Then to sit on the pole and lead all those laps, it was pretty cool.
Absolutely. So what happened there in stage number 3? Was it just a matter of getting stuck in traffic? Because once you fell back, it looked like it was pretty hard to work your way back up to the front.
Yeah, it's one of those. I mean, being out front here is crucial because everybody's running the same line. You can't really wander very much. I mean, on that last restart, I was able to pass Nick on the outside, but I knew I was. It only lasts a couple laps. So once you fall back, you gotta just kind of sit there and follow the leader and hope they make a mistake and you can get your nose in there. And I mean, that's kind of the name of the game at this track.
Yes, sir. One last question. You found yourself in some very incredible battles here tonight. Something I wasn't exactly expecting here at this track race, or this dirt track. You found yourself with Tuck on your outside, somehow able to hold it out there for as many laps as he did. And then for, it seemed like 10 or so laps in a row, you guys, the top 4 were side by side. And then you somehow ended up getting shuffled from the front of the left all the way back to the right rear of that 2x2. So walk us through the battles here tonight.
Tuck just made on that specific one. Tuck just made a really good move and was able to cross me over. And I mean, once he got there, then I got stuck up there and went backwards. But the battles, they were incredible. I mean, Tuck, Nick, Pierce, racing with those 3 was just, I mean, it was second to none. I can't wait to go back and rewatch this because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be as excited to watch as anybody else was.
Oh, most definitely. Yes, sir. You guys put on one heck of a show, but what a return to the series. And I look forward to your next race because you put on one heck of a show here tonight.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Moving on to your second place finisher, Tuck. What's going on, man?
What's up, Bronny? How's it going?
Oh, it's going good, dude. All right, so I want to start out with a question that I asked our 3 pre-race guys. With everything that happened the last 2 races and just how high tempers were, how was tonight able to be, quote-unquote, as smooth and clean as it was, while Michigan, a race that I didn't expect tempers to really flare, they were at the highest they have been all season long.
I mean, with that Michigan, I think it was really just 2 people that kind of got into it, but no, here tonight, like us top 4, me, Pierce, Michelson, then Nick, we just drove our asses off, to say the least. We all raced each other clean and competitive. I mean, me and Michelson that first stage coming to it, we were side by side. Can't tell you how many laps, probably at least a quarter of the race. It was him on the bottom, me on the top, just battling our asses off. So, but no, that was fun, and hopefully we get to do it again next year. Put this race on the schedule.
Oh, absolutely. It provided some amazing racing here tonight. We heard old Michelson's side of the battles. Talk us through your side.
Yeah, like I was just trying to gas it up, stay right there to like his quarter panel, and try to get a run off. See if I could just try to clear him, but I can never clear him. And then Nick made a move off of 4 and kind of surprised me. And then I got to the inside of Michelson going into 1, and we were 3 wide. Nick kind of hit me. I kind of hit Michelson. It was just a racing deal, but it was fun all around though. So and then congrats to Pierce though. He was the class of the field that last stage, and it was pretty good all night. So fun all around.
Yes, sir. And moving on to your race winner, Pierce Posse, adding his name to the very short list of race winners here in Season 7. What's going on?
How's it going, man?
You know, a lot better now because you were my pre-race pick to get that truck into victory lane here tonight, and you made me look like I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Well, don't get your hopes up because we all know better than that.
What a show you put on. Like Tuck said, that third stage was all you. How were you able to pretty much change how the race looked? I mean, in stages 1 and 2, it was all Will Michelson. And then stage 3, it seemed like you, Nick, even Tuck made a charge out of nowhere towards the front.
Yeah, that battle as a whole was a lot of fun. I wish I could tell you what I was doing different to get to the lead, but I really don't have a clue. I just found myself in the lead. Next thing I know, we all got battle, and I found myself in the lead. But as far as telling you what I did differently from stages 1 and 2, I have no clue.
Well, that's pretty interesting there. So, first win of the season. You know, you've had a pretty solid season so far. You're sitting third in the points and everything. Obviously, this is going to help you out quite a bit with the guy in front of you having his truck issues here tonight. That's Tennessee in the 4. How does this help you? I mean, now we're in the second half of the regular season. What kind of momentum does this give you heading into not only the second half of the season, but heading into the playoffs now with that one win?
Yeah, it definitely helps because so far it feels like I've had a season similar to last season. Top 3, 4 every week. Struggle, but but this year we were able to find victory lane a little bit quicker. So it's going to be nice to have them playoff points going into the playoff time. Especially this year, we got all kinds of diverse tracks come playoff time, which I'm looking forward to. But it's going to be kind of nice. We hit one of those races where we just struggle, and we got a little bit to rely that we can fall back on.
Yes, sir. All right. Next week, Road America. How do you feel about it, Pierce?
Not worth a crap. Road courses typically are not my strength, so we're gonna go in there. Hopefully, we can just put something decent together, get a solid point stay. But as far as going for the win, I don't expect to really be in contention for that.
Mm-hmm. Tuck, our last road course, you absolutely struggled. Canadian Tire. Is this kind of a redemption track for you next week at Road America?
Oh hell yeah! I'm gonna try to finish in the top 10 this time. But if Tater's back, then I probably won't. So
yeah, you'll be too busy running into the back of him. We know.
Oh yeah.
Well, Michelson, how do you feel about Road America?
If I can make it, I love road courses. I've always considered myself a bit of a road course ringer, but that's if I can make it. So,
yes, sir.
Fingers crossed.
Absolutely, because like I said, for just your second race this season in Eldora, we don't know what to expect. Dirt track racing only happens once a season. And, you know who's going to be good at certain tracks like road courses or super speedways, but when it comes to dirt track racing, you don't know who's going to be good. So, yeah, you guys put on one heck of a show here tonight. James, you got anything for our top 3 finishers?
Nothing really much except
I don't even know why I ask anymore.
I mean, I have not done that for like a whole month, and I was gonna say stuff. Thank you very much, Ronnie. But good race. Not the biggest dirt fan, but that was an impressive race. I liked watching it. But yeah, hopefully Road America, if all 3 of you guys who raced there, and for everyone else that's in the league, go put on one hell of a show for us and for the fans, and also have a good clean race at Road America. But in general, you racing boys, good clean race, a race that I like to be as clean. So yeah, I'm proud of you guys for that.
Absolutely.
Thanks.
Absolutely, but that is going to wrap up tonight's race in my home state of Ohio. What a show Eldora put on. It always puts on a hell of a show, but these guys really rose to the challenge tonight and made it even better. Next week, we're heading back to a road course where we saw a drag race to the finish line between Keystone and Tennessee. Are we in for a second drag race of the season to decide the winner? Who knows? Tune in next Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern for the main event here in the NEXXTCAR Racing League. Have a good